The Maulers, absolutely right. We are ready to kick off, and we have a very special guest and a returning guest. Actually, they're both returning. I had Webb earlier in the year. Wow, we broke down the whole roster the first time Webb was here. Um, very involved with this team, and I love this guy's insight. And we have Mr. Jamie Malloy joining us tonight. So we're just going to bring them in, and we are going to talk about this final game of the year and see if we can bring it home. I know I don't have the Pac-Man on, but I could turn it on real quick. Jamie, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Adam? I love that intro. That was great. And that guy's right. The Maulers are here, and hopefully they're here to win it all Saturday against a very tough 8-2 Birmingham Stallions. But I think we are going to do it. We can do it. We got to believe, and we got to pack Canton, pack Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. It's essentially another home game for the Maulers. Let's get it, and let's go Maulers.
Absolutely. And I'm sure this guy's going to agree with every step of that way. Webb, what is happening?
Not much, man. I'm just excited for Canton. I can't believe this has been a long journey since we talked about the offseason. We talked about every single, like you said, every single guy in the roster. Some are gone now. It's been a long journey. It's been an up and down road, but I think the three of us have kept believing, and now we're being rewarded with the championship matchup, which is crazy to me.
Jamie carried the willpower a lot, back in week 8, he's all we got to do is win. All we got to do is win. All we got to do. I think we all knew the situation, and we all, whenever it gets into situations like that, I don't like to talk about it because I know what needs to be done. And I'm not one of them overreactive people. Like I know we can do this on Saturday, because we're going to talk about the week 4 game, and things that, a couple bounces go our way, we win. And, but Jamie, you keep us motivated, and that's a good thing. So what are your thoughts for this game here? What are your thoughts?
The game coming up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I thought we were talking week 4.
We can go week 4 first. That's fine.
Let's go week 4 first before we get into it.
We'll build into it then, right?
Yeah, build into it, yep.
All right. You know me, I like to go straight for the dagger.
Yeah, week 4, we were there. Remember this Maulers team in week 4. Troy just became the starting quarterback. They just got their first win, which was huge going into this matchup. Remember that when the schedule came out, the Maulers had the 4 playoff teams from the year before to open up the season. They had a tough stretch to open up the season. The Breakers,
absolutely.
The Stars. Obviously, the Stars didn't turn out that way. The Breakers, the Stars, the Generals, who are very physical, and then, of course, the Stallions. This was the 4th week. A lot of people lost hope this week, but I think if you really paid attention, this was the week that you started gaining hope, because they were hanging around with the Stallions. They weren't getting blown out. They didn't roll over, even though the season wasn't going their way at that point. Troy Williams played well. To tell you the truth, Troy Williams might have outplayed Alex Magoo that week. He didn't turn over the ball. The only problem was getting into that end zone. They went 0 for 3 in the red zone. And, of course, Deion Kane had that kick return for a touchdown that ultimately killed the game. But the Maulers were there. Like, anyone that's seeing them here now, you started to learn that in week 4, that they can hang around with anyone. And as long as they survive, and like Jamie said many, many times, all they got to do is win. And they got in, and now we're here in the championship, and there's probably 3 guys here, and then the 50 guys in the locker room and the coach staff that really truly believe that could happen. So
I did not hear anything back from Mr. Tomlinson, though. I did tell him congratulations. I was at a concert all weekend, Webb, so I didn't even watch the game. I was at a 2-day festival in Columbus, Ohio. Look at me. You tell me you're in Georgia, and I'm like Columbus, Georgia. Yeah. So I did not even watch the game. But when I got back Saturday night, I text Trey, I text Tarpley, and I text Boogie, I text Matt, and they all got back to me and just said thanks. And it felt good. It felt good on this game Saturday. But yes, the 0 for 3 in the red zone. We cannot definitely have another look at that situation this weekend, or else we are not going to make it.
Yeah, they're definitely better on offense than they were in week 4. The offensive line is the biggest reason. That offensive line has gelled. The Maulers' offensive line has gotten better as the season's gone on, but they're not at the level, I don't think, of the Stallions right now. And obviously Alex Magoo's awesome, right? Like, we all can agree Magoo is awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's-
I wonder if Francis is going to. I imagine his parents are going to be there this weekend. I'm going to try and meet them, since I know I won't get to meet Alex. But his parents have gone to every game that he's been there. They fly up and fly back.
Yeah.
I follow them on Twitter, and they followed me back, so that was cool. I can't
awesome.
get Alex too, but I got his dad.
Yeah. I think a big thing for this upcoming week is third down. They were number 1 in third down conversions. They were at 51%. The Maulers are number 8 at 29%. Like, that's a huge difference of being able to get off the field. Pittsburgh's got to get better at it, and I think they have. I think at one point they're actually like 21%. So they've actually gotten better, but Birmingham converts their third downs to first down more than half the time, which is crazy if you think about that.
That's a really good stat to have.
So the defense is going to have to step up. Obviously, the defense has done well all year. Obviously, they're the best defense. I know the Breakers seem to claim that on social media. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I started a war with Birmingham. I think me and Luke got into it this morning. I said the Birmingham Stallions released. They said that we were up against like a really good defense, and I go, yeah, our Maulers defense is a little bit better than the Breakers defense. It should be a great game though. Still,
like when you talk about points against, they're number 2, right? Passing yards against, they're number 1. Rushing yards against, they're number 2. Sacks, they're number 3. Interceptions, they're number 1. Turnovers, they're number 1. Pass deflections, they're number 1. Like, everything is in the top 3. So, like, you can't question if they're the best or not. Like, anyone that argued that, you just lost all your cool points, right, with me, because I don't think there's a question.
You take away those first 3 losses,
yeah,
and like let this team regroup. I bet you they wouldn't be anywhere near points against right now.
Yeah, but remember, this defense was playing out of their mind early on, right?
Right.
The game against the Breakers, they scored the touchdown, and Henny scored the special teams. The offense did nothing, and they almost beat the Breakers in week 1. Week 2, it was 6-3 going in the fourth quarter before the offense completely fell apart, right? So that's
right. And I think that's the game where they gave up a lot of points, and that's where the points against comes in the Breakers of defense or whatever.
Yeah, I agree with that, and also like the time, like the Stars scored 37 points in week 7. Like that was the high point. You know what I mean? That's the most points they've given up. I don't think they've given up 30 the rest of the year. So
right.
that tells you right there. So, but the defense is a lot better than Birmingham's defense. I know Luke likes to tell you their bend don't break, but I think that's a bad excuse for saying your defense isn't really that good. It's like I get the bend don't break concept all the way through, but if you're giving up all these yards all the time, bend don't break, I don't agree with that. I think the best defense doesn't give up yards or points, right? It's not an either or situation. So I don't know. That's just me personally.
Jamie, thoughts?
Yeah, same thing. Like, I think the thing is New Orleans defense, if you watch them, like they don't got the horses to really like compete with the Stallions offense. Like, they didn't really have a pass rusher like the big hogs up front. Like they just got a bunch of small and slow guys. But like Pittsburgh, obviously we got the big bodies on the defensive line and Boogie and 94 there. And then we also have speedy linebackers on the edge that are able to compete with their linebackers. Like New Orleans doesn't have the size or the speed on the defense. And we have that aggressive styles, speed and size on the defense that New Orleans doesn't have either.
And don't forget Mark Gilbert, man. Like he's the best corner in the league. Like lockdown, like ask Joe Walker, right? Joe Walker was on his way to all USFL, and
Right.
I kept saying, in Mark Gilbert's pockets are his keys, his phone, and Joe Walker, because he just ate up Joe Walker the entire time. I know he had like a catch or two last week that was surprising, but all season Gilbert's taken on the toughest receivers, and he's stepped up to the challenge. It's
Exactly.
all
I forgot about Gilbert too.
he's the first guy off this roster that goes to the NFL. He just spent the last couple of years on practice squad. This is a guy that probably won't be back next year. Let's be honest. So this is
He led the league in interceptions. I'm surprised that no one looks at the Zeno though too.
Well, Tizino's great. Linebackers in this league are great. Tizino, Reuben Foster's played well. I know Foster doesn't have the stats that Tizino has, like tackles and everything, but Foster seemed to be dropping back in coverage a little bit more, covering tight ends, which that's going to be a big deal here with Sternberger, right? Like
Yes, sir.
Someone's got to stop Sternberger, and it's probably going to have to be Reuben Foster. While Tez is Olive, you said number 94, and Boogie kind of take up the space, and Tez kind of hits that gap. Right, wherever they're not, whatever they created space, and then Tez comes through and hits the running back in the backfield. And then you got the edge guys. We could talk about the edge guys. There's about 5 of them that all come in and have all had big plays. Will Miles, a Nasir player, Vaughn Taylor, Malcolm Howard before he got hurt. Like this team is so deep on defense, man. Like 3 safeties that could have been considered for all USFL, right? Like 3 safeties. Most teams don't even have 1. You know what I mean? Like to have Eli Walker, to have Tarleton, to have Tarpley, like it's just crazy how Jaron Horton's defense has operated all season. It's just absolutely crazy.
And he almost had two full years now to work with this crew. So a lot of these guys aren't leaving him, which is a huge saying for how much they give respect to him.
Yeah, well, they all love him, and obviously he was the USFL all assistant coach of the year award. Because
when did I missed that one? Sorry.
That was earlier this week. I believe it was Monday. Skip Holt got coach of the year, and Horton got assistant coach of the year, and it's well deserved. He's assistant head coach. So the transition between Kirby and his dad Ray was smooth because you got a guy like Jaron Horton in there that's just able to figure it all out and kind of lead this franchise when it was kind of in that offseason, that busy period. Remember, Kirby leaves and Ray comes right in, and they don't miss a beat. They really haven't. They've gotten better. Being there in Canton for the training camp, you could just tell, like, there is a culture. Like, these guys love each other. Like, I'm not just talking the coaches, right, dad, son thing. Like, this team is extremely tight. I don't know what they have for – I know the Stallions have a good culture down there, 1-0 mentality and everything. This is like a family. These guys love each other. Like, these guys are boys. So it's been a great culture, and I think they fit that Pittsburgh mold, right? Tough defense, beat you up.
Absolutely. I love it.
Physical,
have you gotten to talk to Mr. Horton?
Darren or Ray?
Ray,
I have not.
You got to talk to Jaron now.
Yeah, Jaron a few times. He's come on Hammer Time. Ray just seems like a dad. I know it's simple to say he's just a dad, Jaron's dad. But Ray,
right?
Ray is just very. I don't know. He's hard not to like. You know what I mean? He's a very likable guy, and like when he goes to press conference, I don't know if you've seen some of the press conferences. These last couple wins, he has said, "Hey, this is what we're doing." He talks to this guy from Mexico, Oscar. That comes into all the Zoom calls and the press conferences from Mexico. He's flying Oscar up supposedly this week. He says hi to Oscar, and then he walks off and he says, "These are the guys that you need to talk to." And different players are up there every week. He doesn't need the spotlight. He's talked about this team growing. Week 1, right? They couldn't get the ball in from the 1 4 times.
4 times.
4 times in a row. How'd they just win the game this weekend? They scored twice in overtime from the 2-yard line. Things they haven't been able to do all year, and this team's just grown. And no one gives them the respect because they don't have the glory. They don't play in front of the big home crowds, and they're not in their home city. And last year with the whole pizza and the 1-9 and those ugly colors behind your shoulder, Like it just.
Should I wear that jersey on Saturday?
Yeah, why not? That at least shows you that you've been there from the 1-9 season. But it just like this team has completely changed from week one, from last year to now, and they're in the championship, and they were the best team in the North. Like I don't care what anyone says. Every game except one was a one-score game in the fourth quarter at some point this year. Memphis is the only team that they kicked Memphis. Like when they got shut out and Derek Dillon returns it. And they weren't even dominated.
6-yard one-handed catch in the end zone.
Yeah. And then every other game, like even the Generals game, they lost 20-3. It was 6-3 going into the fourth quarter. And then the offense just fell apart. They gave up 2 touchdowns basically because of turnovers. This team has been in every game and has not been blown out really outside of that Memphis game. And since that Memphis game, guess what? They've been in Canton every single week. They have had no road game. Well, they've had a road game against New Jersey, but like they've been in Canton since like Mother's Day, like Memorial Day, whatever. Like it's been 5 or 6 weeks they've been in Canton. So
they got a nice cushy home schedule.
Yeah, the schedule was tough at the beginning. Obviously, like I said, all the playoff teams. But
so I missed something. Whenever they went to Detroit, not the Maulers, but like, did they get moved out of Ford's Field for a little bit?
No, they. You're probably talking about the social media stuff, right?
No, the games. Like, were they all played at Ford's Field?
They all were at Ford Field. They practiced at Eastern Michigan. Ypsilanti. I'm not from
Ypsilanti.
Yeah.
I was just curious because like some of the games, there's like that's not Ford's Field.
Yeah, they all the Michigan games were at Ford Field.
Okay, I must have been watching something weird.
or Michigan was in Memphis, right? And you just didn't pick it
Maybe.
up. Yeah.
Maybe.
So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about Jamie? What do you think about this Saturday?
Sunday we're celebrating.
I think Sunday we should be celebrating, but I think it's really going to come down to the Maulers writing their own story and on this game, and same thing with the Stallions. They're going to be writing their own story on the game and how they want it to go, and the Maulers are going to be writing their own, and it's going to be basically play great defense like that concrete wall it's been all year, and stay on the field in offense, score points, and don't turn the ball over and everything. And that's the recipe.
That's the script, right? We no stupid penalties, right? Stay within your emotions. Sometimes their emotions get the best of them. Don't turn over the ball and possess the ball and have long drives that lead to points, right? I know it sounds simple, but that's all they really got to do is keep Magoo off the field, let the defense rest, and we'll be good to go.
So my three keys for this Maulers team this weekend is pressure on Magoo, force the and capitalize in the damn red zone.
Yeah.
I think that is the key. If they capitalize on the red zone instead of going over whatever they're there for and kicking and letting Blewett come in and kick the field goals, I think we have a strong chance at really, well, I believe we're going to win this game, but I mean, that's going to help the cause a lot better.
Yep. Shock the world right now, this weekend.
Right.
But so for the season, who do you guys think are the Maulers MVPs? Jamie, who do you think is the MVP for the team? I only can pick one.
If I had to pick an MVP, I would go with to me, I think it's Tizzino or Frank or Mark Gifford.
Gilbert, yep.
Gilbert, yeah, Mark Gilbert.
What about you, Ed?
What about me? I was thinking Tizzino. I mean, the defense has carried it. It has to be Tizzino, right? He leads the league he leads the team every week in in tackles almost every week. Or maybe Henny with special teams.
That's my pick, the commissioner, Isaiah Henny. He just
Henny time, Henny where?
Yeah, anything's possible.
So if on defense, I would go to Zeno, and offense, I really think I'd go with Henny. He just
See,
seems to be like
offense
the
is
go-to, like Gaither was last year. Remember?
yeah, offense is a little tough because if Troy doesn't come in and settle down that position, it's Vadley and Roland Rivers all over again, right?
And I
Like
know
we're just rotating quarterbacks. Troy came in and settled down, and he's gotten better every week. So it's tough to say it's not Troy, but I see your point with Henny. That's actually who my pick is. It's Isaiah Henny, just because I think every big moment he was there.
absolutely. Like we outplayed this team in that first meeting this year.
With an offense that was still coming together.
We had 311 yards total offense versus 281.
Yeah. Magoo's worst game by far. Magoo's worst game was against these.
He had what? He has two interceptions, one touchdown, 157 in the air. He did have some rushing yards, but nothing like he had last week.
Yeah.
I mean, this team rushed for 245 yards last week, the Stallions.
Yeah. And I couldn't say it better. Only one sack was allowed too. Like the offensive line performed pretty well. And Ish Hyman is on the team now, which makes the wide receiver group so much deeper. The key is
I saw we signed a restricted who was it? We signed someone today, and then we sent them to the injured list.
Yeah, again, I've got kind of a theory on that. So it's Shedrick Kirk. He was with the team all year until about week 6. I think they signed him with the intention of they don't have to fill that roster spot. He's already in the system, right? He already knows his role. I think they expect Mark Gilbert to be gone by next week because he's in the NFL. They don't have to fill in that and fight for Shedrick Kirk. They're thinking ahead. They're thinking past this week and planning for next season already, which is a sign of a good organization, right? Like they already had a plan for continued success and hopefully rule the North for a long time.
Oh, I'm right with you, Webb. I mean, after watching, like I told you the first time, I got to watch these guys practice after T-ball.
Yeah,
that was back in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this has come a long way, My dad's like, I did go to a game when it was at Three Rivers. I was like, really? Yeah. So my dad did go to a game. He finally told me.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was so long ago. He's like, it was not very good. I do remember that part.
Yeah. Well, think about this. So in the history of the Maulers, right? I know it's only 2 years before this team has won more games than the 2 years before combined. Like, think about that.
That's
like how crazy is that? Like it took them, and they're not even a 500 team right now. They're 5-6 technically, right?
Right.
But that is more wins than what they had in the 80s and last year combined. So this is the greatest season. We're living the history right now with the Maulers.
We're living the dream. Now we're gonna live a dreamer.
Yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
My 3 points for them was to get pressure on Troy Williams, keep field goals in the red zone, and McGuff don't make dumb plays. So McGuff was 2 of my big key plays.
Yeah, Alex is obviously the MVP. We agree on that.
Oh, absolutely.
But he did get hit a little bit in the Pittsburgh game, and that was before his offensive line gelled. But we've got to limit Alex Magoo. We have to that's the key right there on defense is to not let him run around for 15 seconds and then throw a bomb because coverage is tough when you're chasing a guy for 10 seconds. You know what I mean? So
like that one play. At the one play, he got out of 4 tackles.
Yeah.
And then found Davion Davis in the back of the end zone for the touchdown.
Yeah.
There were
it was like a Josh Allen or Mahomes type of play he had there.
Yeah, he does that so well. So you got to eliminate those Mahomes, Josh Allen type plays, and you can't let him do that all the time. Ask the Breakers, right? Like the Breakers saw it. Like Magoo was awesome last week. So hopefully Darren Horton and his defensive staff have something ready to go for this weekend.
I believe they will. What was I going to ask? Yeah, so I think 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. What do? Do you take the ball or do you get it during the second half?
Well, if you're John DeFilippo, you get the ball, right? Everyone else, you kick. You kick and you hope that you can get the end of the first half and a quick score in the beginning of the second half. And if I'm the Maulers, I definitely do that too. You lead with your best, right? No one's going to argue that the defense isn't better than the offense. It's not to say anything bad about the offense because what they score last week, 31 points, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 31-17, right, or something.
31-27.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went to overtime. I'm sorry. Oh
and the week before, they scored 26 points. And the week before, they scored 19 points. So they've increased every single week. I think this offense is finding its groove. The offensive line has gotten better ever since picking up Terry Poole. You know, he was all USFL last year. And now he's our left tackle. And then Leon Johnson was pretty good on the Stars, went to the championship last year. He's our right tackle. And they came mid-season, so it takes some time with offensive lines. You guys know that. Like, it takes some time for them to gel.
Yeah.
And they're running the ball better. Hey, during the season, we went 4 weeks in a row where the leading rusher was not a running back. Think about that. It was a quarterback or a wide receiver were the leading rushers for the games for 4 weeks in a row. Like, that is bad running the ball. But now, over the last couple of weeks, Groshek and Madre have been getting going. And then if you add in the Troy Williams 50, 60 yards and you get like another 80 yards with the other two, you got 140 yards rushing. That's a formula to win the game for the Maulers. So
I was just about to say, it seems our run game is starting to, build track and get ready to getting back in gear as it was last year. They're kind of figuring out like how to run it better with the two.
Yeah.
And maybe Mr. Horton took a little bit to figure that out because, new quarterback still trying to figure it all out still. You're not going to figure it out in 4 games, We have in the NFL, we have 18 games to try and figure it out,
And a long preseason and off season, the OTAs and everything. These guys come together in the beginning of March, right? Or the middle of March.
Right.
And 4 weeks later, they're playing a game, and the games matter. And there's only 10 games, and that's why everyone that says the 4-6 record, you shouldn't be in the playoffs. Listen, if we're in the NFL and you're at 4-6, you always see teams that get 5 or 6 wins at the end of the year, and then now they're 10-6, and you're like, oh, that's a hot team coming in. That's all they're doing, and they just took a little bit while to figure it out. And I love this team, man. So I'm gonna always talk positive about them, but I expect them to win on Saturday.
I did not get. Did you write down Luke's prediction last night? Because I did not get it.
On my show, he said
before we
27-23 Stallions. No, he said 31-23. 31-23 Stallions.
Got it. So do you think we're going to clean up this special teams and be able to stop Kane? I mean,
yeah,
it's go ahead.
Kane is a big play guy, but not a consistent guy, if that makes sense. So like Josh Simmons,
he's a splash guy.
He's a splash guy. That's a perfect definition. Kane, I followed him at Clemson. Kane has always been that way. He's not doing anything different than he's always been that guy that all of a sudden you see and you're like, man, that kid could be special. And then he kind of disappears for a little bit. And then he comes back and you're like, wow, look at all that talent. And I like Deion Kane. I think the Maulers would be all right on special teams. And, of course, you got return of excellence with Henny and Simmons. Those guys are the best 2 returners in the game. So I think the advantage definitely goes to Maulers on the special teams, even though they have a very good special teams. I don't want to discredit them because Aubrey and Wadman are very good at the kicking game and the return game. Obviously, we talked about Kane, Maribel, Davis. They all do it a little bit. So I'm just expecting. Obviously, as we know, watching the USFL, special teams matter more in the USFL than they do in the NFL. I think everyone can agree on that, right?
Right. Oh yeah. I love watching return kicks.
Yeah, it's not it's not a thing in the NFL anymore, right?
That's what makes this exciting.
Exactly. Every single time, like look at Mike Riley. What did Mike Riley say in the press conference after Week 10 when they squibbed the kick and they kicked it out of bounds? They were avoiding Josh Simmons because he was providing such a big spark. He kicks it out of bounds. Now they get the ball at the 50. They get the field goal right before half, and all the momentum is gone for the Generals after scoring in the second quarter. Special teams matter, and I love it because the Maulers have very good special teams, especially after Blewett replaced Hurley High. So
now that Marable is their main running back, because last time we faced them, they had White still.
Yeah, I think Marable was hurt because they've been battling with injuries all year. So I think Marable he got banged up during the game. I don't remember, but you are.
Yeah,
right.
I don't remember either. I just know that both of them ran the ball that game.
Yeah, I think White took over and he did all right. Nothing fancy, but he did all right, didn't he?
I
don't fully recall.
I didn't write down the stats because I wasn't really concerned.
Yeah. The matchup with Davian Davis, for them, whoever's going to cover him because he's a slot guy. Gilbert tends to go on the outside guys, not the slot guys. So Keith Gibson or Tornan, that's the big matchup.
You think they're going to double? Who do you think? What are they going to do? They're going to double Stormberger. They're going to double Davis because Davis had a huge game last week.
Yeah,
74 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I think they play man with the guys over the top. Tarpon, Eli Walker over the top. I think Foster controls Sternberger. I don't think Sternberger had a great game last time, right? I think that was one of his worst games too, because Davis was the leading receiver.
Hold on, we're getting there. Hold on, let me call up the stats real quick.
You're good. I wasn't expecting to talk about Sternberger's Week 4 performance, so my bad.
Me neither. Oh no, horrible! 1 catch, 5 yards.
Exactly, and I believe Reuben Foster is actually banged up for that game, so that tells you that they figured out how to kind of control Sternberger. Like I said, Davis had the big game. Right, 8 catches.
Yeah, 71 yards in the touch. He had that He had that Patrick Mahomes by McGew, and he just happened to be wide open in the left-hand corner of the end zone.
Yeah, and the 8 catches might be almost a season high against the Maulers this year. I'm not asking you to go through all 10 games, but it's got to be one of the better performances.
Well, the other receiver closest to him was Watkins with 3.
Yeah, but I'm saying. I'm saying even Week 1, against the Breakers, no one had 8 catches for 75 yards. Like they don't give up a lot of passing yards, and that's because those corners are very good. The safeties are very good, and they tend to get to the quarterback with 4, maybe 5. They might blitz a little bit, but they tend to get to the quarterback with Olive Boogie and the 2 ends, either Player, Howard, or when he was healthy, Savion Williams when he's out there. Will Miles, like they tend to get to Okoye. They've got a deep defensive line, and they tend to get to the quarterbacks, or at least contain the quarterbacks with just 4 guys up front. So if they can continue to do that, that's a recipe for success. And then they can focus on corners. And I think the defense lines up well against this. They just have Magoo. We just got to control Magoo, if that makes sense.
Like I said, Magoo made both of my keys for them to win.
Yeah.
And forced turnovers and pressure Magoo on my defensive side for keys for us to win.
Yeah. So, who's your guys' favorite player to watch, Jamie? On the Maulers, not the best player. Who's your favorite player to watch?
My favorite player to watch is Boogie Roberts, just because of the memes on Twitter that go viral sometimes at the end of a game, win or lose.
Boogie.
And my favorite one was when the Maulers this year clinched the playoffs and they beat the Jets. And Darius Victor Vito on the New Jersey Generals was talking to somebody else. And Boogie Roberts was standing right in front of Darius Victor. And he was singing Beyonce's song and he was teasing him. And he was going to the left, everything you own in a box to the left. And then he was going to Darius. He was going, helmet on the left side, shoulder pads on the right. And he was going, helmet up here, shoulder pads over there. And then Darius Victor goes, y'all better get ready for next week. It was funny.
Well, the great thing about those two guys, they live in the same. Boogie said on my show, they live in the same complex, and they're actually good friends. They're renting wherever in the same building, and they're actually good friends. And it's just razzing at that point. They're just joking around, but the Generals and the Maulers became pretty close, and the respect was mutual between them. But you knew they wanted to beat them. They didn't want to be they wanted to be the Canton champs, as Boogie said.
Absolutely.
So
it was
Boogie's
still
awesome
funny to watch. So
Yeah.
I put it in some of my stories too.
Boogie's awesome.
Yeah, Boogie. I don't know if you guys ever watched the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. He's on there
All the time.
every Monday. Well, it was every Monday. And he's pretty good at that, and he's very passionate about his sports broadcasting career. So it's really cool to watch these guys get.
I love it whenever he just comes on people's podcasts and talks. It's awesome.
He is.
So there's 5X Steelers playing in the game on Saturday. Does anyone know?
Mark Gilbert.
D. Gray.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
We had him on the show.
Oh, he's another character.
Oh yeah.
Alex Magoo.
Is Magoo a former Steeler?
He was on there from like 2021 to 2022, but I think he didn't play though. No. It wasn't Magoo. It was Sternberger. Sternberger was.
Yeah.
Jay Sternberger was a former Steeler. Magoo wasn't a former Steeler. I lied. It was Sternberger. My bad.
I was gonna say I don't think we had Alex Magoo. Would have been better than him.
I think the rest of the Steelers are on the Stallions, right? So you got Gilbert, and I don't think there's another Steeler. Is there?
Deion Kane, Jay Sternberger, Derwin Gray, cornerback Brian Allen, and ex-Pitt defensive tackle Keyshawn. All play for the Stallions.
And then Mark Gilbert played for the Steelers.
It doesn't say.
But so what do you guys got for score predictions? Jamie, what do you got?
Well, on Adam's show last night, I said it was going to be the reverse of week 4, and I'm going to say it again here tonight. I say the Maulers get their revenge and win the championship 24-20, a reverse score from week 4 this year.
Who's your MVP if that happens?
My championship MVP.
Yeah.
I think it goes to Trey Tarpley because I think he gets a game-winning interception from an Alex Magoo Hail Mary that's going to fall and that's going to land right into his hands.
All right. What about you, Ed?
I got 34-27, 2 defensive touchdowns, and if you're going to ask me MVP, I was going Tarpley also. I think he shines in this game.
The Pittsburgh guy's staying with the Pittsburgh kid, huh?
I am.
All right.
I am.
26-20, and Troy Williams our MVP. I think this is when because I think Troy's been slept on. I think he's the top 4 quarterback in this league. I think Cook is MBT and Magoo are the only quarterbacks that are better than him. And I think this is his moment. So I'm excited for Troy. And it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Talking to Troy is absolutely great. I talked to him in the offseason. He is awesome. And you guys know that he went to the same high school with Boogie and Trey Walker.
Out in California.
Yeah, and Mark Hull, the linebackers coach, special teams coordinator. They all went to Narbonne. So just a cool story. And all the LA kids coming to Canton to win. So
So, do you think Josh Love looks like Philip Rivers?
like physically or like play style?
Physically, yes. Physically,
No,
no.
I don't see it.
You don't see it.
I don't see it.
Am I the
I
only
s-
one? Am
Play
I the only
style, I
one that
see.
sees it?
I don't.
Play style, definitely.
Am I the
Physically,
only one
no.
that sees it?
I don't see it. Sorry, man.
No look-alike.
I don't see it.
I always call him Philip Rivers 2.0.
Because of how he plays, too.
Does Josh Love have 9 kids yet?
That's a lot of kids, man.
Yeah.
We weren't talking about full background. We were just talking about appearances.
Okay, I was just wondering like how far we went along with this about this stuff. Does he throw like this? Josh Love doesn't throw like this on the sidearm.
No, I was just saying like appearance, though. I wasn't
Just
saying
in the
like
face. Just in the face. I got you.
No, but he's a pocket passer, but he doesn't have any like mobility like Philip Rivers. He was a pocket passer.
Yeah, but I think in this league you have to have mobility, right? The best quarterbacks have
Exactly.
escapability. I know
Right.
MBT's not super fast, but
Right.
he definitely, can escape the pocket just enough. And that's what you need to do in this league because the quarterbacks, you guys remember Kyle Lauletta? Come on. Like he's now gone through 2 and he was a great guy. We talked to him. He's a great guy, but he's not cut out for this league. He doesn't move fast enough. James Morgan, right? James Morgan's on the team. He got hit every single
you
time.
guys did. You guys did get Cal on your show
Last year, yeah, when he was still with the Maulers. I remember
was
that.
early. That was early.
He just had a kid, and so he's in a closet, like in his apartment in Birmingham, and it's like a coat closet, and he's got all the coats up and all this kind of stuff right behind him, and he's like talking kind of quietly because he just had a baby and he didn't want to wake up the baby. So he's a great guy. Josh Love, we've had Josh Love on, and he's a great guy. I just don't know if they're cut out for this league unless you have a great offensive line. You need to have an NFL type offensive line in this league because I think defensive lines and linebackers are very good in this league, right? We talk about linebackers with Ginda and Tez and Scooby and Poling and Ruben and like you just go on and on and on. Name an offensive lineman in this league.
Is Ginda going to go to the NFL?
I would love to see him. Like he's great to watch. I don't know what it is about so last year linebackers like middle linebackers didn't get the call up. Like Tez played well last year.
Right.
Didn't get Donald Payne with Houston last year and went to the XFL and became great again. Those guys don't get the call. I don't understand it. I'm not an NFL guy. Obviously, I'm not an NFL exec, but it's like for some reason linebackers get a bad credibility in spring football. Like they don't get a ton of chances, and I don't understand it completely. So Tez was a former Patriot, though.
So I'm sure you and Ace talked about this. Is Mark Thompson going somewhere?
He's got the talent. Curtis Johnson, I think, said today with RJ Young that he's an NFL running back, and Curtis was in the NFL with the Saints. Moose loves him. I think Moose said last year that he's the best player in the league at the beginning of the season, most talented. He's got a lot of talent. He seems to talk a lot of noise on Twitter. I don't know.
I see that. I've been. He's been popping up on my timeline every 5 minutes. It feels like I'm like, oh, he's back.
Yeah, and then the running back, right? If you're following the NFL, the running backs are complaining that they're not getting any. Dalvin Cook's out there. Like, come on. Like, are you taking Dalvin Cook or are you taking Mark Thompson?
He's a free agent, and he turned down the invite to Miami today.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yesterday, one of the
I don't know 100% what's going on in the NFL with those running backs, but like running backs don't get the credibility, kind of like linebackers. Like they're just like, oh, we'll just plug and play kind of thing. So
right. So when are you leaving, Webb?
I am leaving Friday morning at 5 a.m. from South Georgia.
Okay, I was just wondering if any one of your crew is going to be there for the announcement at 1:30 that Daryl Johnson's giving away an award.
Oh, yeah, the MVP is going to be announced probably, and I think it's kind of like you know how Goodell does like a State of the Union kind of thing on Super Bowl week.
Yeah,
That's what I feel like it's going to be. I don't have any insider information or anything on that. I just feel like this is now Moose's league, right? Ever since Brian Woods left, um, and I think this is a State of the Union kind of moment when all eyes on him, and then it's press day too. You people can ask the questions via Zoom with them. So I don't know. I just it's going to be Alex Magoo. We all know that. So
have any of you guys gotten in on any of them conversations?
about what?
Like in with the Zoom, just to be there.
Ace has. I've never done it. I've never done a presser. Believe it or not, this championship will be the first time that I'll be a member of the press. So I'm super excited, and I hope my first press conference is a Mahler's Championship press conference, which would be awesome.
I hope to get some pictures like Ace sent me last year when we did a first show like this.
Yeah, that would be absolutely awesome. Is that Ace
I
on
do
the
have the
field
other
next
one.
year?
I do have the other one too of him and Daryl Johnson. And
Oh, Brock Howard, yeah, with hype.
yeah, we won't talk about that guy though, right?
Oh, he hype's fine.
Yeah,
Hype's covering everything. But yeah, he's no longer with the network, and he'll tell you that. He's still doing the network Facebook page, and that's everything's cool. Sometimes you go through situations, and it, you know, it's like divorces, right? It's like you just figure yourself and you separate yourself, kind of. So, all wish nothing but the best. So,
I had hype on my show as well. I love the guy,
yeah.
but I just saw that he went separate ways and it just threw me all off. But anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so we got final predictions done. We're gonna be in Canton. Jamie is not gonna be there. He don't have it over. Lives too far away, he says. Jamie, how far are you away from Canton? About 4 hours?
Like 5.5 to 6 hours away from where I am. I'm upstate New York. I live in Webster, which is not that far from Rochester, New York.
You live in a great time. That's my last name, Webster. So
Yeah.
I'll roll with that.
Webb and Webster. I love it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I wish
so
I
Webb,
could go, guys, but I just maybe next time,
Well, the way
Gotcha,
Moose
Jane.
sounded today in that Birmingham interview, that the championship's always going to be in Canton, at the very least. So, which is awesome. It's like, hey, every road leads to Canton, right? And it becomes a tradition, and everyone joins up in Canton every year for the championship, which would be awesome. So,
Well, finally, my saying on my Hammer Time Pit page, the bus is already there. Let's get there.
let's go. I'm excited. I can believe that we're here, but at the same, it pinched me. You know what I mean? This has kind of been a magical ride. They were dead.
Or no, the train is loading. The bus is already there, which means Jerome Bettis is already in Canton.
Yeah.
And now we just got to be with him in Canton.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Canton, like actually in the Hall of Fame?
I've been to the Hall of Fame. I got to see Troy Polamalu's induction.
Oh, that's cool.
That was pretty wild. I've been inside the building, toured it and stuff. That was fun. But I've not seen a live game there though. But I got to see an induction for the Hall of Fame, and I just walked around the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna check it out. Last time I was in Canton, we were just on the run the entire time, and I didn't
get a chance to enjoy it.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to walk the building and see the bus and all that kind of stuff. But I'm gonna make some time to do it this time.
The last time I was in Canton was I was on a trip to Sandusky, Ohio to go to Cedar Point, And then on the way home, we stopped at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It was 6 days after the Steelers played the Vikings in the Hall of Fame game, and we just went there, walked around the Hall of Fame. But I've never been there for like an actual game or an induction. But it was really cool to see it.
Yeah, it's so when we were up there in March, they were laying the new turf, and we walked a little bit on the field, and it was awesome. It really was. It seems like a great environment. When they show it, even on TV, right, with the Canton Hub not getting a ton of people, it just seems like a very intimate environment where like everyone matters in the stadium. It's not like you Penn State, right? You touch the nosebleeds, you're 6 miles away from the stadium. You know what I mean? The field. This is very intimate, and it's good football. So I'm excited.
And I think they said what 19,000.
Yeah,
20 to 25. But when you go to like a USFL championship game and it's full, it's packed.
Yeah, I'm excited. So.
Well, Webb, I look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, man. We finally get to meet after a couple years.
All right. I'm glad you stopped by tonight. I know it was very last minute, and I was like, you know what, I gotta throw out the fishing pole and see if we can get them on.
Yeah.
We started this journey. Now we're ready
crazy.
to close the book. Hopefully,
it's absolutely crazy. But I look forward to meeting you, Jamie. Thank you for having me on your guys' show.
Yes, sir.
You guys,
Webb, how people get a hold of you
We're
before we
go? Hopefully in future endeavors and stuff. When I do get that chance to maybe go to Canton for a future championship game,
Yeah, so. Definitely. Well, if the Maulers ever come to Pittsburgh, I will be there for the first home game. I guarantee you that. So
okay.
I will.
My question is, where are they going to play?
I think it's going to be at Three Rivers Stadium. No. I meant the soccer field across from Heinz Field, maybe.
Yeah, like where? Like I don't know where they're going to play. They're going to pack Heinz Field.
I don't know.
Maybe at 50% capacity, though.
We'll see it there when we get there, I guess.
Yeah.
Because Ford, talking about Ford Field, it never looked like it was empty because they got the dim lighting and all that. Like it never looked like the upper decks were really empty. You could fill that lower bowl or make that lower bowl. Same thing with Birmingham. You can make it seem like it's very full. Even the Liberty Bowl, right, in Memphis, it seemed like that place was rocking all the time. So
but it wasn't.
It wasn't full to 60, 70,000 people like the Liberty Bowl can hold. You know what I mean? Like they were able to make it seem like it was full, even though it wasn't. So, it's a television production. That's the best thing about this league. Fox owns it, right? They produce television. Like they know
they know how to make it.
Exactly. And they'll always figure it out. And I trust this league. So unlike some others, but we'll go down that path another day.
Yes, sir. Webb, how people get you, man?
At hammertime_web, Instagram, TikTok, barely. USFieldNetwork.com, USField Network on the YouTube channel. Check out Hammer Time every Wednesday. I'll still do it in the off season. 5 p.m. on Wednesdays. I don't know if I'll do every week in the off season, but I'll do every other week. I'll guarantee you that. Yeah, sweet. Man, this is my team, man. This is my team. Like, no offense to you guys.
This has been our team for a long time, Webb.
Yeah, this is the culmination of a very long journey, especially this year. So, revenge tour.
I think we're all ready to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're ready. But I look forward to meeting you. And Jamie, thank you for having me on your show tonight.
Oh, no problem, Webb. I wanted to ask Adam first for permission, and we actually decided to do this together. It wasn't just me; it was the collaboration of him and I, and we did this thing together. But it was my pleasure too. It was our pleasure to allow you on.
Well, thank you. Maybe next week, me and Luke can come on your guys' show, and we can
Tuesday.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Are you gonna be back? Are you gonna be?
Well, that's 4th of July.
Sunday.
I'm leaving Sunday morning, so basically I'm going up there I'll be up there
about
and leaving. 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon. Spend the night, kind of collect, actually get some sleep, and then Saturday I'm going to be at the field the entire day. I plan on being there around noon and just being there, absorbing the whole everything.
Well, with that press pass, can you get in and out of the building?
I believe so. This is
So
like I said. This is my first time.
I was just
getting
wondering because you said there's a tailgate at 1 o'clock. So
yeah, the guys from the USFL newsroom have summer stock, which is basically a big event, and it's a tailgate, and it's live streamed on YouTube, and you get to meet everyone that you work with all year because we're all spread out. You're up north, I'm down south, Jamie's in New York, like we're all over the place. And you get to meet people, and it's kind of a cool experience. I'm looking forward to it.
Upstate New York State, not New York City, just to let you know.
Yeah,
not to get confused.
Yeah, dude, it's right on the lake.
Is the Breakers guy going to be there?
Lowe will be there.
Yes.
And so will Xander, who is
Ace's brother going to be there?
He will not. Maverick won't be there.
So no Panthers.
No Panthers guy. Just Xander, who is kind of our generic guy. He's kind of a Magoo guy right now, but he kind of does a little bit of everything. He's on Tell Me About It and USFL Authority, the shows. Lowe, obviously, the Breakers, the Top Breakers guy, Ace, and myself. So we'll be there. We'll be there in full force.
Great.
Well, I look forward to meeting you finally, unlike on this little screen here. And I will see you Sunday. Jamie, how people get you before we close it out?
Okay, so you can find me on my original Twitter account, Jamie Malloy, the unbiased journalist, at DJ Dog Tags, at DefiantTakesFootball.com. And you can also find me here on my newest Twitter account, my second Twitter account, Bills Chat 1 at Bills Mafia Chat, where I will start be doing a Buffalo only Twitter account where I'll start doing my own podcast here on Driving to the Top Productions, mainly on the Buffalo Bills and anything else Buffalo. So I'm going to be starting that 2 weeks after USFL. So I'm very excited about starting that, which is awesome. So, and then also, I write for Defiant Takes Football, and you can find my sports stories there on the Buffalo Bills, Syracuse Orange, and both spring football leagues, the USFL and XFL. Thank you very much for listening and for all your support, guys.
Definitely.
And we have Hammer Time Web down there. We have Hammer Time Pit up here. At Sports Talking It, you can find me there too. Driving to the Top on YouTube. And let's go Maulers. We'll all hopefully we can get Ace to come on too with us on Tuesday. I know he's a busy man. I know that, but
he's still crying, man. Come on.
We'll get over it.
Yeah. Well, he'll get over it. Yeah, eventually one day.
But hey, guys, thanks for tuning in, and everybody have a good night.
Jury.